welcome back to the White Stoner channel here on YouTube. Today we're going to be going over my top 20. That's right, I said top 20. So you're going to probably want some snacks, some drinks. I'm sure this video will be pretty lengthy. So make sure to get those drinks and snacks so you are ready for this video. Over here is my top 20 list of favorite movies that I would probably watch at least once a year, maybe maybe more than once throughout the year. They're just like comfort movies, or just really favorite movies of mine. And then over here is my recommended list, ones that I would have loved to put on my list that they just didn't make it, I guess. But here we go with, first up, we have Young Guns. This is a movie that I watched for the first time not too long ago. I thought it was really good. It's just a movie I wouldn't watch all the time, or it's something I would come back to, definitely. So on the recommended list, we got Young Guns. Next up is Jeremiah Johnson. This was a really cool movie. I didn't think I would like movies like this, but since I started getting into VHS, I've been finding movies that I've never heard of, and I've been finding myself watching movies like this. So it's pretty much about this guy who lives off in the mountains, and it was really, really cool. So another movie I would recommend if you've never seen it. Next up, one I probably should have put on my list. This one I would definitely go back and watch it again and again. We got Men of Honor, a really awesome war movie. It's got Robert De Niro and Cuba Gooding Jr. Just an awesome movie. Wish I put it in my list, but it just didn't make it today. Maybe next time. Next up, one movie I finally watched for the first time this year that I remember. I'm sure I watched it a long time ago. I have Armageddon right here. Just a fantastic movie. Well done. It's got Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck in it. Just lots of fun watching this movie if you've never seen it. And at the end, it includes the I Don't Want to Miss a Thing music video by Aerosmith, which is super cool. Next up, we have The Babe with John Goodman, a really interesting movie we watched earlier this year. It's about, well, Babe Ruth, and John Goodman plays a really good Babe Ruth here. So I just had lots of fun watching it. Definitely need to go back and check it out. I've only watched it one time, so that's kind of why I'm recommending it. So next up, definitely could have been on the list. I have Dante's Peak. Really loved this movie. Had fun watching it. I would definitely watch it again. Next up, I'm really upsetting myself here with this. This list over here seems better than the one I made. Next up, ones I would recommend, definitely Braveheart. This definitely is one of my favorite movies. It's just I haven't seen it enough to say, oh, definitely would put it in my list yet. But I know down the road it's gonna be, because I'm gonna keep this one brand new because I already have an open copy, and then hopefully I can get the 4K release for Braveheart. That would be super cool. So another recommended one would be Braveheart. Next up, I have Without a Paddle. This one It's just a hilarious movie. If you like Matthew Lillard, Dax Shepard, and Seth Green, then you'll definitely like this movie. Another awesome movie. Matthew Lillard, I say, is an underrated actor. You don't ever hear about him, and hopefully I use that word right. You hardly hear of him outside of Scooby-Doo. That's like the only movie you ever hear him in. So I wish Matthew Lillard got more credit than what he has gotten. The only 3 movies that I know of that people would like literally recognize him from, maybe 4, are She's All That, Without a Paddle, Scooby-Doo, obviously, and 13 Ghosts. That's pretty much the 3 or 4 I can name right off my head that he's recognized for. So I just wish he got more credit for what he's done. Next up is Good Will Hunting. I've only seen this one once. Definitely need to go back and watch this one again. But right now, I do recommend it. I thought it was really fun, really interesting watch. So, it's got, of course, Ben Affleck, Robin Williams, Matt Damon in it. So, a really, really awesome movie. I wonder if this one's on 4K. This movie, next up, is The Fast and the Furious. The first one. I definitely recommend this one. This one, I've seen it enough times for it to be like, yeah, it's one of my favorites, but it doesn't have to be in my list as favorites. So I'd rather have it be recommended to you guys. I would love to get the 4K set of all 8 of them or 9. I know there's 9 of them, but I don't know if they released the new 4K set of all 9. But definitely one of my favorite movies right here, yes. But like I said, I've seen it enough times to just recommend it to you guys. And say, if you've never seen it, go check this movie out. Next up, one of my favorite movies, once again, I know, this one definitely should have made my list. So, we got Dan Aykroyd, Jamie Lee Curtis, Macaulay Culkin, and Anna Chumsley, or whatever her name is, in her film debut. She did a fantastic job. This movie is just so much fun to watch, whether it's girly or not. I really don't care if it's girly or not. I just really love this movie. It's my girl. If you've never seen it, then you don't have taste in movies. Just kidding. This is just a really fun movie to watch. I enjoyed everything about this movie. So, to me, you can't tell me that this movie's bad. I just won't believe you. Next up, I found this one not long ago. It's in really awesome condition. We just watched it. Definitely gonna watch it again someday. It is Dead Poets Society. It was kind of a strange movie. What do you expect from Robin Williams? But I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun watching it. Definitely need to check it out if you have not. But I definitely recommend this movie. Next up, another recommendation. We are on the last 2 recommended ones. This has Matthew McConaughey, Samuel L. Jackson, Sandra Bullock, and Kevin Spacey. This is A Time to Kill. Just mind-blowing movie. I couldn't believe how good it was, and yet I don't know if this is just a Family Guy joke, but they say Matthew McConaughey sucks. At least Stewie does in one episode. It's funny, but there's nothing wrong you can say with this movie. This movie just was amazing. So, because I've seen it one time, it hasn't made the list yet. But I'm sure somewhere down the road, it might make my top 100 list. And the last recommended movie is Deep Impact. It's got Morgan Freeman in it. And some other people I'm sure I know. Because I've only seen it once, this was just an awesome movie. I don't know what else bad to say, if you could say anything bad about it. But, I had lots of fun with it. And I'm sure you will too, if you haven't seen it. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. So there you have it. There is the recommended movies. Now, time for the top 20 movies I would probably say that I would watch at least once a year, maybe more than once throughout the whole year. So, no specific order. Here we go. First up, we have Apollo 13. I just watched this one yesterday, to be exact. I don't know why I haven't watched it before. I'm sure I have, just don't remember. It's got Tom Hanks. I don't know what you can say wrong about him. He's just a fantastic actor. He is my #1 favorite actor. And if you were allowed to have two #1 favorite actors, Bill Paxton is my second favorite #1 actor. They both ranked #1 on my all-time actors lists, and both of them in the same movie? Really? It's like my dream is coming true here. So I don't know why I never watched Apollo 13, but I did yesterday, and it was an awesome movie. I would love to get the 4K release of this movie, and there's just nothing bad I can say about this movie. I enjoyed every minute of it. Next up, we watched this one earlier this year. It is Vertical Limit. So this is number 19. Vertical Limit, it's got Chris O'Donnell, Bill Paxton, Robin Tunney, I think her name is, and Scott Glenn. So this movie kind of reminded me of 2015's Everest. So this movie was really fun. Just nothing bad I can say about it. Number 18, I have The Client. I keep talking about this movie. I'm not exactly sure, but it's got Susan Sarandon, Tommy Lee Jones, and a little boy, I don't know his name. This is a mystery movie, and I was just blown away when I watched it for the first time. It was really awesome. This is a movie I could definitely watch again throughout the year. Next up, number 17. Number 17, The Whole Nine Yards. Bruce Willis, Matthew Perry. Another awesome movie where Bruce Willis is actually a bad guy. I loved this movie. And it's about, I don't remember Matthew's character's name right offhand, but he basically hates his life. He's a dentist. He hates his life. And hold on. Let's see. Matthew Perry plays a hapless dentist who finds a way to get on the Tulip's good and bad side. So, Jimmy Tulip is who Bruce Willis plays. Just an awesome movie. If you've never seen it, you need to check it out. 16 on the list is Backdraft. Watched this one for the first time this year. It blew my mind on how good it was. I learned that if you see a fire starting, make sure to never turn your back on one. Because, well, a backdraft could start and it could kill you. So this movie was really awesome. It's got a lot of my favorite actors in it, like Kurt Russell, Donald Sutherland, Robert De Niro, and William Baldwin. So just another awesome movie. Next up, number 15, is the Jim Carrey version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. This movie I did not grow up on. I grew up on the cartoon, but this was one I always wanted, so now I have it. And I just love Jim Carrey. He's a great actor. He's hilarious. Some people don't like him, but this movie was really fun. I like it more than the original cartoon, but the cartoon is cool, but it doesn't compare nothing to this movie here. So obviously it's about the Grinch wanting to stop Christmas because he doesn't feel happy like all the little Who's in Whoville, and then he realizes what he's done wrong and tries to save Christmas, basically. Number 14, instant classic movie, in my opinion. I'm still trying to debate which one is better. I more feel like this one. I have Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. I've never seen it on VHS, though, but I have seen it on DVD and Blu-ray. I don't know, this movie is just that one of the most iconic Christmas movies. To me, basically, if you don't watch Home Alone around Christmas time, then it's not Christmas, in my opinion. So, you gotta watch the Home Alone 1 and 2 at least on Christmas, or around Christmas time. I think this one is a little funnier than the original one. The original one is more serious, like what would happen if you did leave your kid at home type movie, and then this just is Macaulay Culkin being funny in New York City. Next up, we have Billy Madison. Another awesome movie that I could watch again and again. I like Adam Sandler. He's an awesome actor, pretty much. I wish I had more of his movies, but I do have his very first movie, so that's pretty cool. So, Billy Madison is about this guy who goes back to school to fight for his father's company, and he has to pass first through 12th grade. And can he do it? If you haven't seen it, you gotta find out. Next up is Final Destination. Another movie I could definitely watch more than once throughout the year. I would love the second one, and I am a little upset that the third one didn't get released on VHS. The third one is definitely my favorite one, the roller coaster one. But this one, to me, I basically thought that the Final Destination movies were dumb at first. I just didn't take the time to sit down and watch them like this one. And now I learned, do I want to fly on a plane or not? So after this movie, I learned, is it safe to ever go on a plane again? Or even for the first time, since I've never flown before. But if you have never seen Final Destination, I definitely say go ahead and check it out. It is an awesome movie. It's really cool. Next up, this one definitely is in my top 100 favorite movies list. This is my favorite American Pie movie out of them all. It is American Pie 2 that I decided to drop for whatever reason. This one definitely is better than the first one. There is no doubt about it. I don't think I've watched this VHS yet. This is where they go to the summer cottage or whatever, for the cottage for the summer with everyone. This is the iconic one where Jim superglues his hand to himself, and the adult movie he decided to watch because he got the lotion mixed up with the super glue. Poor Jim. But once again, American Pie 2, my favorite American Pie out of them all. I only need American Wedding, and then I have completed the whole American Pie VHS set. Next up, I had to put it in here because I put the second one in here. So, next up is American Pie. This one is it's a really good movie. It just does not, give me that feeling like number 2 does. Don't get me wrong, I love this movie to death. It is definitely one of my favorite movies. It's just not like the second one. I don't know. I feel like they just did a better job on the second one. But I do love this movie too. Next up, we got Leonardo and Tom Hanks. Catch me if you can. So, if you've never seen this movie, it is about Frank Abagnale Jr. and how he pretty much made fake checks, I want to say. I'm not good at explaining movies, but Frank Abagnale Jr. was I'll just read the back for you guys here. Frank Abagnale Jr., as he successfully passed himself off as a pilot, a lawyer, and a doctor, all before his 21st birthday. So yeah, that's exactly what Frank Abagnale Jr. did. He was a poser, basically, pretending to be a pilot, a lawyer, and a doctor, all before his 21st birthday. That's pretty impressive. So, another great movie. Why not? It's got 2 of my favorite actors. Leonardo, great actor, and Tom Hanks. I already told you about him. He's number 1. Next up, definitely couldn't make a list without this movie. It is my favorite Tom Hanks movie of all time. Can you guess what it is? No? Well, I'll just tell you. It is Castaway. I really can't say nothing bad about this movie. This is one movie that I would definitely watch throughout the year, more than once for sure. But it is one movie that I usually forget about, and then I'm like, oh my god, Castaway, that's right. Then I'll watch it, and then it's like, it'll be forever until I rewatch it, and I'm like, oh my god, it just gets better every time. So, you definitely I don't know about you guys, but whenever I watch whenever I watch a Tom Hanks film, I've learned that you usually feel bad for him in his movies. It doesn't matter what movie it is, you feel bad for him. Put that together the next time you watch a Tom Hanks movie. Just think about that. Do I really feel bad for him? Yes. And I'll give you an example. Right here, this is a great example of why you should feel bad for Tom Hanks. 1, he was supposed to come back for Christmas. He was only supposed to be gone for a few minutes. Or as my favorite line in this movie is, "I'll be right back." That's what he says. "I'll be right back." And what happens? Well, Chuck Noland, a FedEx system engineer who's ruled by the clock. That's right. Chuck goes by the clock. And he gets stuck on an island for 4 years. 4 years. Man, he couldn't even kill himself. That's when you know you should feel even worse for him. He couldn't kill himself because it was either the tree or the rope wasn't tight enough, something where he couldn't do it. But he learned to make fire, and he made a friend, Wilson. So, and then they finally found him after 4 years. So, just a fucking awesome movie. I love this movie to death. No one's gonna change my mind. This movie is amazing. Next up, I figured I would add a horror movie in here. I don't have too many legit horror movies. I have pretty much more thriller than horror right now. But this one probably could have went in my recommended list. It's not one I would watch all the time, only because of how rare it could be on VHS. I'm not sure. But I have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Definitely one I would say is a really good movie. Really fucked up movie. One that if you've never seen it, so this movie is based on true events. If you didn't know that, some guy out there in Texas, I don't know if he's still alive or what's going on with him. He was a real murderer, and he really took the faces off of people and wore them for himself because he was that ugly. But I heard you can go through the Texas Chainsaw House as a tour now, so that would be like the real one, not the one in the movie, the real one that happened in 1973. So I have yet to watch it on VHS, but like I said, because horror movies for some reason are worth a lot of money and just mean more for the collection, I haven't watched it because I want to keep it in the best shape it's in. So I'm sure maybe someday I'll watch it, just I haven't watched it yet. But I have seen the movie, of course. Next up, definitely gotta watch it again. I have The Patriot right here. Another mind-blowing movie, one I really enjoyed. This movie here made me realize, as a person, made me realize that I like medieval timed movies. Just like Braveheart. That movie takes place in the same era. So, I don't know why, but it just took me forever to watch it. We watched it earlier this year. Definitely gonna watch it again soon. I know I will. It's got Heath Ledger in it, the man. Literally nothing I can say bad about this movie. Nothing bad at all. Mel Gibson did a fantastic job in this movie. And I would love to get the 4K release of this movie, definitely. Next up, I am not the biggest fan of the other ones, but I would love to have them. Well, I mean, I've only seen the other two a couple times, not as much as this one, but well, anyway, what I have here is Friday. Well, on VHS, of course. This is about, well, two friends who try to avoid getting killed by Big Worm, basically. I really don't know how else to explain it. And then there's a thug who's around town named Debo, and it's Friday, so I know you have nothing better to do. I know this. You ain't got no job. I'm gonna get you high today, 'cause it's Friday and you got nothing better to do. So yeah, it's about this guy Smokey pretty much trying to get his buddy Craig to smoke marijuana with him, and Smokey has to try and sell money for Big Worm, or whatever that is. So, just an awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. And I'm going to look out and see if there's a 4K release, because this is a classic. Next up, one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time. I was discussing that earlier about the second one. I don't know which one's better, but it is not Christmas if you don't see Marv or Harry. So hopefully that gave it away. Next up on my favorite movies list is Home Alone with Macaulay Culkin. So, fun fact, I'm surprised I didn't wear the tape out. But now that I'm an adult, I realize that it's only special to watch this movie on a special occasion. But, obviously being a Christmas movie. But as a kid, I would watch this movie all the time. And I don't know why. I don't understand why. But it has been a really important movie in my life. It's just one movie that I can't get enough of. So, when it's around Christmas time, I can't wait, because that's when I get to watch the movie. So, usually you should watch it around Christmas time, if not on Christmas. That is if you like the movie. So, I like it, obviously, and I'm telling you that you should like it. Well, guys, we finally made it to the top 3. So, like I said, no specific order. These are just movies. Everything I went through, once again, are movies I could watch more than once in the year. Usually, when you watch a movie, it doesn't matter what genre it is. Usually, you only watch a movie once, and then you don't come back to it until maybe next year. But these movies I could watch all year if I had the opportunity to, or they would be movies I would watch more than once throughout the year. So, number 3 is 8 Mile. This movie, I seen it at Salvation Army. That was the first thing I grabbed. I have it on Blu-ray somewhere. It definitely needs a 4K release. I would love to find this movie brand new. Obviously, it's about Eminem, his life is a daily fight just to keep hope alive, basically. And he plays Jimmy Smith Jr. So it really is it's a powerful movie for sure. I love it. And on the VHS, they show all 3 rap battles at the end instead of just the last one they show on the DVD. So, fun fact, at one point I have now owned the VHS, the DVD, and the Blu-ray. I don't know what happened to my copy of the DVD. I don't know. But this movie is definitely one of my favorite movies. Number 2, this movie I've been talking about a lot lately. I probably have to go back and watch it. We got Richard Gere and Deanna Lean in Unfaithful. This movie just really grabbed my attention. The first time I watched it, I couldn't, usually when I watch a movie, I'll just put one on and do whatever. But this one really grabbed my attention, and I couldn't look away from the TV. It was that awesome. It is a 2002 film. And it is Edward and Connie Summer seem to have the perfect marriage. But when Connie's choices chance encounters with a handsome stranger, she basically cheats on him, and then he pretty much kills him. So I am not sure exactly what genre this movie is, but I'm going to look it up after the video. I think it's thriller. So, awesome movie. If you've never seen it, I definitely want you to go watch it. So, and the last movie on this list, it would not be a list, in my opinion, without this movie. I have, well, Bill Paxton, Helen Hunt, in Bill Paxton's greatest movie of all time. As of right now, there's a couple movies of his that I would love to have in my collection that I don't. But as of right now, the greatest Bill Paxton movie that I own is Twister. I have this movie on Blu-ray also, but this movie I definitely would love to have brand new. So it is about these storm chasers, pretty much, and Bill basically doesn't storm chase no more. He says he's not back, when we all know, welcome back, Bill. And they try and send Dorothy into the center of the Twister to see exactly what the center of a Twister looks like, pretty much. So, fun fact, this was the first ever DVD release, Twister. If you did not know that, that is super cool. So whenever we have a bad storm, it doesn't matter where I'm at, I'll usually look up and say, thanks, Bill, for the great storm, because inspiring from this movie right here. So, there you have it. Those are that's my top 20 favorite movies that I would watch more than once throughout the year. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to leave a like, and let me know what is your favorite movie. And until next time, your host, White Stoner, is out.